Yo, yo. What is up? I hope everyone is having a wonderful Wednesday. We are here with another live stream. Hopefully the quality's good tonight. I know last week there was a little bit of issues. I just went back to the format I had before. This track's called Chili Jam by Alex Cooksley. It's a really neat little tune I found the other day. But let's get started. Yo, Falls, what's good? Alright, so mix for tonight is a kind of like a liquid drum and bass one. So hopefully it'll be a little bit more upbeat. And sweet. Alright, let's get into the charts. Alright, so slightly adjusted the timing a little bit. I wasn't quite perfect with it, but so far we are still following the plan. So I would like to see this weekly FEG EQ get taken out. We've kind of fallen out of the range and are starting to, I think, go towards the sell side liquidity around 25.7. But I don't really think that's going to hold. You're probably going to come down, at least retest this weekly supply block or demand block. And again, TP1 is right around where that high is. Weekly FEG EQ. But I really like on the daily this balanced price range where I would like to see kind of the main reversal happen around here. I don't think it would be very bullish to come back down and fill this one. I mean, maybe get a further deeper wick, but I'm still very bullish biased. If we look at the 200 EMA, we haven't really tested in a while, so that's probably where we're heading next. I would like to see it maybe probably chop around here and then maybe fall back below. We get kind of another leg, everyone starts getting really bearish again, and that's when it bounces and we go up for the highs. But yeah, I definitely think you'll see the sell side liquidity get sweat. I'm still pretty bearish on indices this week for the rest of the week. So I just didn't have a chance this afternoon to really catch anything, but it was a little bit choppy anyway. So yeah, that's BTC. We're not looking the greatest here. You could maybe save the daily, get back above, well, you are above 26.3, that low there, but really I'd want to get back above 26.5 before I'd really start feeling confident in this holding. That would be right around where the range lows are. So not looking great. I do think this will get taken later in the week, probably on Thursday, Friday, depending on news and stuff. And this, I feel like a retest of this is almost certain given the length of time we've gone without one. I mean, coming down from the original sell-off back in, or even lower, but that sell-off from 46k, we hadn't tested it for months. But yeah, no, it definitely looks good for a retest. And then again, I want to see that 3 rising valleys action to kind of shape up for there. So yeah, bearish tone for the rest of the week for me personally overall. I am short on a coin. Probably not going to look at it because it was a chroma trade and it's still kind of near entry, so don't really want to show that. But looking at some other stuff, ETH, oops, I have the wrong chart. I need to go back to my main ones. ETH, I was talking about this potential, basically what happened here. I originally thought it was going to happen over there, but now that kind of idea. You are back below all these lows. You did leave an imbalance, so maybe we come up, tap into that before selling off. But I am still looking for lower around 1600. Probably roughly, this would be the ideal scenario between 1456 and 1534 to get some long bids. Or maybe even look to short this move on a kind of pump here and then stop above this high, because if it comes back above that high, it's probably going to want to go higher, especially after taking the high here. So that actually to me would be a good swing short, down to probably 618. I would probably target just to be a little conservative, but you could stop loss get probably 2 to 5R. I'm not sure. Just let's see. Like if I got in on that fair value gap up there, stop like above the high, get out 618 is probably around here, or that swing low from back here. It's like 4R. It's not bad. So I'll set some alerts. But yeah, this thing definitely looks good for downside. Looking at ETH BTC next, kind of still pushing back up again. The zigzag's kind of zagging the other way this time, so I think still due for downside. I don't even think it's gotten to a 618 retrace yet. If I pull the fib tool. Yeah, so, oh, it did, okay. So yeah, 618 would be here. I'd be surprised if that's all it needed, but maybe if you get something like that and it just slowly climbs up toward it, I can see that. But ideally, I would have liked to have gone in heavier on ETH position once we came down to this PCC, which could still happen. It might come back up, clear the highs, and then eventually come back down. So, but yeah, it's definitely pushing. Let me pull this fixed range volume profile out, see where we are at with that. It looks like the POCs are right around the EQ. Oh, no. It's a little bit higher. Oh, yeah, it's right at the EQ. Here we go. So, from here, ultimately, I'd probably want to see that hold for short-term resistance. Maybe you have like a 3 falling peaks scenario, and that really leads to like the higher, more, what's the word? Displacing move. So yeah, definitely until this high gets reclaimed, and or I would honestly say this high, like in terms of structurally, because this is still like an internal high. But yeah, that's my thoughts on kind of the core stuff for crypto. We'll quick look at euro and pound, just because it is an interesting spot. We do have 618 retrace a little bit below. I was looking at it earlier today. There is this volume imbalance that I think will be like good, like if you were a swing trader, that would be like probably my high time frame target for that to get filled. They usually do, especially like when you come back to fill like previous moves. So this would be nice to look for. There is a, I don't know if maybe we come up first and then go down for it, or like I was looking ultimately for a kind of like shark, which should be something like, because the X doesn't really matter as long as, or actually this could maybe even pass as a cipher. 311, well 382, I mean that's close enough. 126, that's between, yeah, that would work. Then 786 would be right here, you tap in. Okay, so hypothetically for me, like to flip kind of like high time frame, or wrong one, I did have the right color, it was purple. For me to want to get long on like euro again, I think on high time frame, I'd want to see that 786 retrace, fill the volume imbalance. So I will be pretty bearish biased in the short term. We are below the 4-hour 200 EMA, and the daily, look at that, daily's right there too. So maybe kind of come down, tap, wick up, and then maybe like a quick push down. Maybe it gets front ran and maybe it only goes to like here, but yeah, looks pretty good for more of a high time frame play. You do have the buy side liquidity above, right here. So that to me, and this is also kind of like a 3 rising valleys, like a 1, 2, 3, because that you do technically have market structure breaks from high to high between all 3. So that would, in my books, be considered one. So getting that buy side liquidity would be the first target in my opinion. Then you also, to the upside, you have this major volume imbalance. So it's kind of like a double whammy The thing what happened was here, look at this, perfectly on the weekly with 200 EMA, tapped it out. So right now I would kind of expecting this to go up. You'll probably like push back up, maybe get some short-term resistance self, and then look for something like that. But yeah, I think the draw is still higher until you really close below these lows with like a convincing move. So just my thoughts. There are some like imbalances above that'll be a draw in the future, but I do think downside is still favored here. Pound is, hold on one sec, let's, here we go. So pound, I personally was looking at this sell side liquidity here. We do have these like trendline liquidity lows. We did kind of take some of that, but we still have like two more to clear. But ultimately, I think deviating, where is it? Oh, I had it like this. Yeah. Or no, actually, it was I think this low, because that was like a 3 tap 3 drive scenario. It's not dragging it down to it. Yeah, so right now we're kind of falling back into the range. You do have sell side liquidity here. Weekly, there is a volume imbalance at the range EQ. So you're probably going to get a failed auction, in my opinion. And I would be looking for, yeah, here you go. Here's your failed auction. Maybe you get to next week like a kind of like a push down and then back up. And then from there, you have that volume imbalance in the middle would be my first draw, and then you also have a volume imbalance here, right where the point of control is, would be my second draw. So definitely a bearish tone on Euro and Pound. Euro we can see is the stronger one kind of here because it did retest the 200 EMA. Pound didn't quite get there, but Pound did take its external buy side liquidity, and so it's like different gauges of, I guess, strength in that sense, because this one you would argue would have SMT with Pound because Pound took the high here. So things to think about. Euro to Pound, I'm interested to see what happens here, because this is kind of bouncing off this 200 EMA on the weekly, but I would still like to see lower for it to finish that harmonic. We've talked about what happens when we see them in the past on this. They do play out. You take out the highs usually, and that kind of makes sense given it's a very range bound kind of correlation between the two. So would be nice, but we'll see how it reacts from this. If we start falling below it, I'll get I might even play like a swing play on my funded, and just like once we fall below it and kind of have bearishly like retest it, because it's on the weekly. Like you could hop in, you could check on it like throughout the day, like you just have like an alert set, and when it hits on like a 4-hour candle or something, then like look to enter. But you could snag like a nice little 3R, or yeah, probably like 3R play or something. But we'll see what happens. Ultimately though, Euro is kind of holding here against Pound, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it come up, fill some of this imbalance before maybe another leg down. Though we'll see how, because right now we're getting squeezed. We're below the daily 200 EMA, we're above the weekly, so one of them's going to break. We'll see which one. Heading on over now to indices. Something I was interested in is we took the previous weekly low, so this is our new week opening gap, and ultimately we have up here this volume imbalance. That was originally my high time frame objective. On NASDAQ though, we did actually, oh my god, this looks beautiful. I'm so mad. I was talking to Galaxy about an idea on this, and I should have taken it. I had this idea to like long from this, and there's a weekly balanced price range on NASDAQ up there, and I was gonna put my stop. Kind of moderate. Because I think I was playing it on the weekly time frame when I was looking at it, so I was like, oh, let me put it below like this little thing here, and I think I was looking for like 4R. Or yeah, probably would have played maybe a little more conservative than like 3. Yeah, but now you're already up here. So I'll be looking to play longs. I feel like on NASDAQ, NASDAQ looks so much better than this right now, but this might eventually just like rip up and fill that. Like it's kind of playing like catch up. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I think this looks more range bound versus NASDAQ like looks ready to absolutely rip. I'm still kind of bullish on them, especially like NASDAQ looks so strong. This is kind of like gonna retest and whatnot. So I think like shorts are favored on ES, longs are favored on NASDAQ for the time being. And I think that's mostly what my plays have been like this month. I know I did a lot of Forex shorts, and or at least that's what has been the most beneficial for me. Kind of playing that high time frame trend. I find a lot of times like when I'm trading against like what the structure is doing, it just doesn't go well. But yeah, we're kind of just consolidating here, very tight. I'm sure it'll rip. The thing for me though is I'm not crazy about taking a swing trade right now with the debt ceiling conversation. Like that's not something that I'm really trying to bet on directionality. So I think if we came back down and maybe like retested this one more time, I'd probably look to swing it and just play like below. You could probably play even like a tighter stop below, like below here. Only thing is you might do like a just bearish, or maybe like down here, look for a little lower. Yeah, like 3R. And these are just like ideas. The thing is like I can go in and then trade like a 3R setup on like M5 with that bias in mind, just following the order flow. Like that's what I'm working on trying to get in the habit of, is like kind of building my narrative. Because I feel like I've gotten better with waiting for confirmation, and it's obviously like shown in the past couple weeks with my trading on indices and Forex. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, definitely bullish tone on ES, NASDAQ, S&P stock market for the time being, unless something happens with the debt ceiling and we just nuke in a night or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's the vibe. Let's run through some crypto. Algo looks like trash. I don't even... Wow. New lows. It's crazy. APT. Yeah, this is bad. We are now bearishly retesting. Look at that. Couldn't get the closure. Fake out. Nope. Where are you going next? I think if BTC continues to sell off, good high time frame target would be that sell side liquidity right there. You also have imbalances below that you could probably target. I just like that. That's also like a week. That's where the weekly fair value gap would start. We're currently inside a monthly one, but it's massive. Like you could come back down and fill. Like the full fill would be like 538, and I wouldn't be surprised if you saw those prices on this in time. But yeah, this would definitely be like short-term target. This does kind of look like it could be some sort of like harmonic though. So you would do it like there, from your extreme low to extreme high. So, oh man, that literally, like, cause I have it set for the magnet tool, so it literally latched on there as a 618. That is beautiful. Oh my gosh. No. I don't know, man. The only thing is it's below the daily. I don't know if it draws out enough and you can get this to be like kind of like a spring off that 4-hour 200 EMA. If the market's in the right conditions, this is a play. This would be a beautiful Gartley. Yeah. Set some alerts. Set one just below the local lows, and I'll probably maybe look to scale in. The only thing is I'd probably play like a tighter invalidation. Like I think if you're coming down here, for me, like I don't think I'd want to be. That's like a 50% drop, and like my first target would be like if I was maybe get spot or something, because like that would be like your first target. Second target for me would just be here, and then you could, if we're in like a raging bull market again, like you could target higher, but I don't know enough about it that I'd probably just go for the first one there. But yeah, definitely valid, super clean, like textbook almost. Cool. Adam, fave, waiting for that 886 to get really long, but again, just ultimately looking for these lows to get cleaned out. Yo, Wolfpack, what's good? But yeah, this thing is what I'm waiting for. I'm gonna be so upset, honestly, if like because I've been hyping this thing up like for months, that I'm like waiting for, because originally I was waiting for this and then it ended up turning into something bigger. So we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't just like tease, but I think it's gonna bounce quick. So I have alerts set for like right under 10. So I'll start probably buying then, and then 9:30 will be kind of like where I'll finish DCAing into. And then maybe the only thing is I probably wouldn't want it to go below here, but I'm playing this low really because this is the original harmonic. It's a Gartley into a bat. So it's Adam. Let's see where that 200 EMA actually is really quick. Yeah, we're below it, so that's cool with me. B&B, 3 drives kinda, you're starting to lose market structure. Well, really it's this low, but I don't know, it doesn't look great locally. A lot of distribution here. You do have some local equal highs with a imbalance left that could be mitigated more, so maybe you get a move up and then PO3 down kind of vibe. I could see it if BTC gets a little bounce, so could be a play to look into. But yeah, I think ultimately lower prices alongside Bitcoin. Doge, still super bearish in my opinion. Yeah. I think if BTC does like over the, I feel like it's gonna just bleed out over the summer, like slowly, because we're almost done with May. June's right around the corner, and then it's just like nice warm weather. Well, at least for New York, but we've already had some nice days too. But that's that. This is like a harmonic that really, like, on a Ethereum Classic, never really did anything. It's kind of just dead. Not saying it can't, like, spike up, because this thing will have its moments, but I think I would be waiting for ETH to really start pumping to look into this, or coming down for that, like, harmonic here. Engine coin. Or not, this is INJ, or because they have ENJ too, which is different. But yeah, I mean, still it's distribution locally. Really the swing low for the market structure, you could argue, would be here, but I probably would want to start seeing something like that soon. But until we lose this or these lows, trend's still your friend. So if alts and everything start rallying again, this one definitely, I wouldn't be surprised to see it continue. It does look good, relatively decent on daily. LDO, one of the only few that's actually up today by like 60, or alt wise is up by 0.59%. But yeah, holding this kind of like ranging price action basically. These are just levels I've marked out, ice lines I like to call them. And yeah, I don't really have a strong bias on this. Ultimately, I guess whichever way we break out of this fair value gap, I would treat that more as like short-term support or resistance. And then you can look for either lows down here, buy side liquidity here, like relative. It's kind of like relative liquidity on the other side. It's just a matter of, I think you are in favor here of upside, but we'll see. Because if BTC starts tumbling, sometimes a lot of alts they'll like kind of go against it, and then eventually it just falls over. So mana, still want to see lower, like that 786, which we could, but if we did get some sort of reversal here, I would understand it. And I definitely think this is good for kind of like this retest of like the opening price around $1, but maybe something like that more so would be ideal for the full fill as well. Matic, okay, so Matic's actually quite good here. The only thing is you really want to see it like within the next couple of days, probably see like some bids come in. Otherwise, that's not like a good sign in terms of like strength. You don't really want, you want like a nice reaction. If I go back to like BNB, I mean, there was, I guess, some consolidation here, but it did eventually pop, so maybe that's kind of what Matic's doing here. But I think like a retest of the daily 200 EMA, sorry, thought I heard something. Daily 200 EMA would be nice. 4 hour, we are getting close to, so that would be a good kind of short-term draw. Are we above the, oh, look at this, above the 15 minute, above the 100 right here, like, oh, we literally just got it above it too. That's actually funny, but not, maybe you want to see it like retest it once more. But yeah, no, the argument's there, you could say now for it, but structurally it's kind of upwards trend. The only thing is you're consolidating here, like you want to take this high, so but yeah, not gonna rule it out just yet. Do have a lot of liquidity up here, but really the daily 200 EMA right around $1 too, that'd be a really good psychological retest. And you could play it honestly like as if the daily order block here held. Again, like the only thing here is my reservation is I'm kind of bearish on BTC, so I'm kind of like holding that bias against with alts too. So, but like there's so many things that look good that like if BTC is able to like hold it together rally, like these would be really nice plays. So one I'll maybe monitor. I'll set an alert above here. Maybe like tomorrow we break above and then come back down, and then keep going. Render. Wow. Too strong. Too strong for the cipher. So I got the buy side liquidity. Now kind of thing is like, where do we go? wait, let me get on the other one I have. There we go. Yeah, basically hit that PCZ perfectly. Didn't quite, I don't know why this isn't weekly FEG. I think it's a daily FEG. I think I said that last stream too, but I forgot to fix it. All right, good. Yeah, it's daily. Okay. But yeah, no, this thing, especially if BGC rolls over here, might be good for shorts. I know some people are looking for these highs, and I think there's more data on, or no, I think it's the relatively equal highs here a lot of people are looking at. But sticking with the harmonic, given the fact I would maybe like to see another push up here, but I think you might be able to catch a nice swing short, or one that I think would be worth attempting if you come up like higher and then look for like kind of those equal lows here. I think it would be worth a shot given more my midterm high time frame bias on this. Of seeing this thing wrong one. This coming back down to retest that. Ugh. Long day at work. All right, Sol. We're inside a monthly BPR, kind of holding above, retesting it in this, what I'm considering like a high time frame range. I think you're going to deviate the lows, and then eventually look for a reclaim before you get these higher levels. I don't even know if I would consider this harmonic really valid anymore. It's not really doing what you want to see, but that doesn't mean that in time you could get that higher move. Kava, another beautiful cipher harmonic. We talked about this on stream the past 2-3 weeks. Ultimately, the TP1 would have been here, which you would have literally gotten from bouncing right near the near the PCZ. Too many acronyms. And then ultimately we ran up. You had some internal highs you could have taken profit at, but these would have been TP2, TP3, and we even wicked up to the buy side liquidity here. So you had some major, some really nice stuff. And I think ultimately, funny enough, this is probably 886 retrace. Ready? Look at that. Look at that. So you would have your X to A. Oh, this would be it's kind of like a scuffed bat Gartley that just like exploded. Let's see, 4 hour have like a, oh yeah, no, it was just like a huge wake up, but yeah, kind of like a, honestly it might be a little too scuffed, but the general idea is there in terms of like internal like M's and W shapes, which create a lot of these harmonics. Sorry if I sound like congested. I'm still getting over this little cold from last week. Ugh. Alrighty. So that was pretty much everything crypto that I wanted to look at for now. Looked at all the indices, all the forex stuff I trade, and then all the like core crypto assets I look at. Happy to open this up to anybody in the chat if you guys have any requests. Litecoin? Of course, man. All right. how did I make these? I'm trying. I'm just looking back, like in history. Where did I get these ice lines from? Because I feel like a lot of times in the past, because this is like before I used to use a magnet tool, so I used to like eye it up. I'd probably do that one. Much better. Okay. So yeah, because like it's a lot cleaner with how it reacts. Look at that. High perfectly. Bum, bum, bum. Alright, so where are we now? We're kind of not looking great, if I'm being quite honest. Not awful, but oh wow, look at that, bouncing from the daily 200 EMA, and are kind of bouncing from a fair value gap. One could even argue that this is probably a 618 retrace. So you have your OTE. That's a little more than 0.5, so not quite 618, but maybe get a further push down below it and then kind of bounce. Arguably, you did break, and you also have like a really nice support resistance retest. So even if maybe you bounced here, that wouldn't be like terrible, honestly. I could see an argument for it. The only thing I don't like is this. To me, one could argue that was continuing higher time frame. Yeah, because I would need to see some sort of, I think, structure shift again, or maybe like a double confirmation on the 4 hour or something. But I'd be more ranging PA. I'd ultimately probably be waiting for lower prices and treat it almost like a range here. Something like that. So one could argue maybe like a 1, 2, maybe on the 4 hour that was a deviation more so than a... Yeah, you did get a close above it. This one barely did, but you could argue then that one would say we would go towards the range lows. All right, in my opinion, like if you lose this low with a candle closure below there, you're going down to like $60. But if we can manage to kind of hold here and continue to make like a higher low, maybe even come down, rate it, take out, because look, you have relative equal lows right here. Yeah, but you have these equal lows, so maybe come down, take that liquidity, you get a failed auction, you rotate back inside, get above this, away we go. I think if BTC is going to kind of come around and ultimately recover its daily 200 EMA, I think Litecoin could very well do the same. You do have those lower liquidity targets, in which that's where I would be looking for that sort of reversal. So personally, I would probably expect something like this, maybe. I don't know. At this point, it's a little bit excessive, but you get the general idea. Because then you could even maybe have like a, this is a 618, this could be a harmonic, this could be a Gartley, and it's a little bit deeper, but cool. Hope that kind of provided you some insight into my thought process with like how I mark stuff up. But yeah, I think we'll call it a night there. I know it's a little bit early tonight. It's just a little quiet, and I have an interview tomorrow, so hopefully it goes well. But I want to make sure I'm getting like quality night's sleep. Yeah, no problem, man. Happy to chat and answer any questions if you ever have any about trading. Oh, also, tomorrow, I'm gonna be posting or reposting a interview I did on Twitter with Yarrow, dope dude, and it will be, actually, if I can pull it up really quick. Oops. I believe I posted or replied to it today. What was it? Oh, here we go. Yeah. This will be a really cool podcast we did talking about like trading a full-time job. So if you want, I would definitely be looking to check that out if that's something you're dealing with yourself or ever curious about. So with that in mind, we will quick close out with BTC. We are starting to fall back down below that low, which is good for my short on the coin which shall not be named. But yeah, if you're ever looking for quality trading education, a community of dope people, and just an all-around awesome learning experience, consider joining Promo Trading. You can check us out on Twitter, and I'm sure most of you already know follows. So cheers, have a good night, enjoy the rest of your weekend, take some time off the charts and touch some grass. Peace.